Hi, this is Dave Stokes. We're at Percona Live 2023 in Denver. And my guest here flew in all the way from Seattle. I'll let you introduce yourself so I don't butcher your name.
Hello, Dave. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure. My name is Sai Kondapalli, and I'm a product manager for Azure Database for MySQL. And Azure Database for MySQL is our managed database MySQL offering from Microsoft Azure.
Okay, cool. And that's been around for a long time.
We first launched Azure Database for MySQL about in 2018. And since then, we have been adding new features. We've been innovating on behalf of the product. And, we are seeing our customers adopting the MySQL service. And we are growing at a good rate.
Okay, and it's 8.0, 5.7, and 5.6?
So currently, we support 5.7 and 8.0 on our platform.
Okay, cool. And October is going to be fun when 5.7 gets end of life.
Yes. October is going to be a very tedious month for us, where we have to work with a lot of our customers to, help them adopt to the latest MySQL major version 8.0. Okay. And when it comes to upgrades, it's always a challenge for customers, especially doing a major version update. They have so many ifs and buts that they are not aware of. So, as a product manager, we are responsible in educating our customers so that, they're fully aware of the product and the changes that they're going to encounter when performing these sort of, major version updates, and, making it in a smoother manner for our customers is ideally a challenge for us. But, we are embracing that and, helping our customers to fully, get acquainted with the latest version offerings of Oracle MySQL is something that, we help our customers with.
Well, I know a lot of long-term MySQL users are going Microsoft and MySQL. That's good. Many years ago, back in the Steve Ballmer days, that would have been anathema. How is it working well at Azure these days?
With Azure, we are embracing the open source technologies, not just from a database services point of view, but from everything like your Kubernetes, your Linux virtual machines, everything. Of course, we are adopting more and more towards open source database technologies, and we are seeing a good adoption from our enterprises or strategic customers or SMBs, SMCs, taking full advantage of, the open source offerings that we have on our product side. From MySQL to Postgres and, everything that is over there with Kubernetes, etc. that the customers are here.
And the big wings of Microsoft aren't going, but it wasn't invented here. It's someone else's crazy open source stuff?
We do not, it depends from customer to customer and how they perceive things, right? And if I'm a customer and I see that, MySQL is being provided by Microsoft Azure, then I have this full trust that, with Microsoft's capabilities of providing the enterprise-grade software, the enterprise-grade security, that becomes much more easier for me as a customer to adopt open source database technologies on a public cloud platform.
Okay, good. Yeah. Now, how does MySQL apply to the real world use cases that you're running to on a regular basis? Are you just seeing mainly little WordPress sites? Are you seeing bigger applications, everything in between, or what are you seeing?
Sure. So, when MySQL first came out, and even today, a lot of applications do rely on the LAMP stack, and MySQL's deep integration with packaged platforms such as Alfresco, Drupal, WordPress, right? Of course, we do have customers who leverage that for the purposes where, they have to deploy a quick blog on WordPress. Yes, they have a ready-made solution available in marketplace that they can, quickly leverage for deploying their MySQL workloads. But then again, there are customers who are, adopting MySQL more and more, who wants to, leverage the open source databases. And in those scenarios, we are seeing highly trafficked web applications are also being run on MySQL platforms. And it is no surprise that, some of the largest companies are, adopting MySQL for their enterprise database applications. Yes.
Okay. And no one's worrying up in Redmond that, oh my God, they're using that instead of SQL Server. They're using MySQL.
I think there are different use cases, different, requirements for the applications that they have to leverage. And of course, SQL Server adoption is continuing with customers who have been running SQL Server for a long time. But at the same time, MySQL's adoption is also growing, where customers are, deploying for any existing legacy applications that might have run on MySQL in their on-premises data centers. which are a good target for lift and shift migrations into the cloud. Besides that, we're also seeing some greenfield applications as well as, cloud-born applications being run exclusively on MySQL, where the adoption is higher. And because of the scalability that, you can provide your customers to MySQL, which is equivalent to, commercial enterprise-grade databases from a security standpoint, from a performance standpoint, and from a scalability standpoint, it is being embraced openly by customers.
Well, actually, the management is freaking out either. How does MySQL work against, or how do you see MySQL working in mission critical applications sitting on top of Azure?
Yeah,
Are people moving from on-prem to Azure to get better response and support, or are they going to the cloud to get to the cloud? Or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there are a lot of caveats around that, right? First and foremost, I mean, as I mentioned a while ago, any packaged applications, any content management platform or content management, applications such as, your Drupals, your WordPress, your Alfrescos, and even from an e-commerce application point of view, if you think about, upward deployment for a customer to get started for an e-commerce application, they can think about Magento, which is easily available for them that they can leverage with WordPress in few easy steps. At the same time, there are some complex applications that are being built. Complex applications for high traffic websites, SaaS applications, gaming platforms who rely more or less on the OLTP nature of MySQL to get the best out of it to provide the best for their end clients.
Okay. I know when the cloud first started coming around, a lot of people were worried about security issues. I mean, if it's my system, I can lock down the router, I can do everything I want to the access list. How do you folks handle security with MySQL at Azure?
Sure. So when it comes to security, it is our P0 priority at Microsoft because we want to not only provide the database service offerings for the customers, but we do also want to provide a database solution that is very secure, first and foremost. And when we're talking about security, Azure is highly on security, right? When it comes to the protocols, the certifications for customers to run their applications. And besides that, it's deeply integrated with, the governance platforms and everything so that, customers can lock down their applications. They can make their databases sit in an isolated environment where the transfer of data from the application to the database server happens in a very secure manner, leveraging things such as, deploying the database server in a virtual network or, communicating with your application through a private link. Things like that will make your database environments much more secure. Of course, they are all compliant with all the certifications that, you would need to run your database environment in.
Very cool. Why Azure over, say, AWS or Google Cloud or even Oracle's cloud infrastructure? What's the great thing about Azure that no one else has that you really like?
Yeah, sure. I think one important thing when you're talking about, deploying your databases, especially like MySQL, open source databases in different cloud platforms, and you're considering to deploy a database server, database environment for your application, then think about one thing, right? One is a rich ecosystem that Azure provides. A very easy integration could be like, you can quickly deploy your application in Azure App Service. You can have your database running in MySQL in few clicks. That's one thing. And the other thing is that, the price performance that Azure Database for MySQL provides, which a lot of customers are it's an appealing feature for our customers. And then the features that are on par with any other cloud service provider. And of course, we are innovating further to, redefine the MySQL platform on Azure. And also to make sure that, Azure is the most reliable, secure and performant platform for our customers to run their MySQL workloads today.
Very cool. Is there anything else about MySQL on Azure that we should know? We use Workbench and the MySQL shell and all that. It's just like having the database down the server rack, but it's in your cloud somewhere around the world.
So, from an accessibility point of view, it's not just the MySQL Workbench or the command line clients that you can leverage to access MySQL, right? There are some developers who are looking to, have deeply integrated MySQL ecosystems with things such as, Azure Data Studio, etc., right? So with Azure Data Studio, they can quickly, build notebooks on top of that. and, query the databases in a much more secure, quick, and easier fashion in comparison to Workbench as well. So it's been a most asked about feature from our customers, which we are delivering right now on Azure Data Studio for our customers.
Okay. So right now, the entire world, they need to switch to Azure. How do they get a hold of Azure? How do they get a hold of you if they want to talk about this?
Yes, sure. I mean, we have lots of resources available for customers to get started, such as, Azure free accounts, first and foremost, so that, they can get their hands dirty in experimenting Azure Database for MySQL, flexible server offering. And they can always reach out to our team who can always, respond to any queries, questions that customers have. And do ask that, reach out to us at askazurdb@microsoft.com so that, it comes as an email to us and we can always respond with any questions.
AskAzureDB@Microsoft.com.
Yes.
So one more time,
Ask Azure DB for MySQL@Microsoft.com, just to be clear. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else we didn't cover that you want to cover?
I think that sums about it. And one more thing that I wanted to also, make our viewers aware is that, we frequently come up with collateral such as, blogs, videos, etc. So please do tune into our YouTube channel, follow us on LinkedIn, as well as, sign up for our roadmap so that, you get acquainted with whatever features that are coming out on our Azure Database for MySQL Dave.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much, Sai, for coming to talk to us today. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Awesome, Dave. Thank you so much for having me here. It's been a pleasure.